Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and what's up guys? Welcome to the very first episode of the Daily Sisters, the pod all about our daily life and all about you. Today we're talking an in-depth look at movies. But before that, our podcast will be recorded separately between four of us due to poor internet connection. If we're doing it together, it will going to stuck and trust me, we've tested it and it doesn't work. But just bear with us and have fun with all the interesting stories we are going to share with all of you. So, without further ado, I am one of the four Daily Sisters. I'm Shamila. You can just call me Shami. I am just 20 years old and I love movies so much, especially during this COVID-19 season. But first, we, the Daily Sisters, love to hear opinions from our listener. Therefore, your story is our story and vice versa. We love to hear from you. There are four questions, lucky questions from the audiences we will share in this episode. So the lucky first one is underrated and overrated movies. So talking about underrated and overrated movies, it is a sure bet that one reviewer's high praise is another reviewer's overpraise. So I fully own the subjective nature of this list. Nevertheless, as a film critic who sort of believes in objective reality, I compiled this roster of movies I think got far too much love from my critical colleagues because I suspect I may not be alone. The films, by definition of their being here, have their avid fans and defenders, but maybe they've got their detractors too. And at any rate, they've certainly had their praises sung. So I figured it was time to toast a few raspberries into the bouquet of hosannas. There's nothing more nothing more pretentious than claiming something is overrated. Art is actually subjective, which makes the act of declaring one thing less deserving of acclaim over another thing futile and silly. People like what they like, and if enough people like a certain thing, it becomes popular. Simple as that. On the flip side of that, trying to determine what is and what isn't underrated is a tricky proposition. The entire concept is nebulous and hard to pin down because a film could be critically revered but underseen and still be considered underrated or vice versa. Hugely successful but have a lukewarm reception. The goal of this list is twofold: to knock a couple of unworthy so-called classics off their pedestal and replace them with what we believe to be films of equal quality that aren't as well known or as beloved. So, my list is as follows. I'll just give you my top 2 underrated movies and top 2 overrated movies. So, the first one is we go for the number 2 overrated movies is Forrest Gump. The 20th anniversary of the release of Forrest Gump is upon us this year, and it appears that people still love the film as much as ever. Some gush with appreciation for the simple man that is Forrest and his understanding of the world. Some describe this film as a drama. Some describe it as a romance or even as comedy. Whichever way you look at it, Forrest Gump is a classic piece of American cinema. Kind of. Dissect the film and delve into its story, characters, and overall themes, and Forrest Gump becomes truly overrated, especially when compared to its cinematic peers. The story of Forrest Gump begins with the title character sitting on a park bench, telling his life story to passers-by. His story intersects with numerous people, movements, and events throughout United States history, from the mid to late 20th century. According to Forrest, he personally met numerous US presidents such as John F. Kennedy, Lyndon B. Johnson, and Richard Nixon, as well as Elvis Presley, who got his luxury dance moves from Forrest. As the film progresses, we see a multitude of US popular culture and nods to musicians, consumer products, and events. It is these American pop culture references that seem to resonate the most with people. There is wit to the screenplay, with lines that reference Forrest becoming invested with some fruit company, Apple Computers, as well as calling the police and reporting flashlights in the windows of a neighboring building that are keeping him awake. Even his on again, off again girlfriend Jenny, who also doubles as one of the most unlikable characters in film history, is intrinsically linked to US history and pop culture. She mentions wanting to be a singer like Joan Baez when lo and behold there's a Joan Baez poster on the wall above her bed in the same shot. Eventually she becomes a nude folk singer at a club where she goes by the name Bobby Dylan. Essentially, Forrest Gump is one giant in joke that mostly everyone is a part of. Okay, for number one overrated movies is Breakfast at Tiffany's. Let's get this out of the way immediately. Audrey Hepburn, while good in the role, is severely miscast as Holly Golightly. It was written for Marilyn Monroe, and although Hepburn is a much better actress, she could never tap into the darkness that Monroe had to fight to keep back. Having said that, it isn't her performance that makes this film overrated, nor is it the terribly offensive Mickey Rooney in Yellowface. No, it's the love story that the film is built around. In that, it doesn't work. For the women in the audience, they are wondering what Holly sees in a walking, talking wet blanket named Paul. And the man, and anyone else with functioning eyes, is yelling at him to get out of Dodge. Holly is a severely unlikable character, and I would go so far as to say she is one of the most unlikable characters ever created, and if you look up to or identify with her, you might be crazy. Breakfast at Tiffany's is a female version of Fight Club. If you meet a woman and she has this film's poster hanging on her wall, you immediately know everything you need to know about her, which is to run away. Okay, that is for the overrated. Now we're moving on to the my top two underrated movies of critics and review. So my number two is The Imitation Game. The background story begins in 1941 when Europe is in the clutches of Nazi Germany. In Britain, air raids have become a way of life, and thousands of soldiers are dying on the battlefield. To fight its enemies, the British government recruits the country's best mathematicians and scientists to help break the code for the Enigma, a machine the Germans used to send instructions to their military personnel. Enter Alan Turing, Benedict Cumberbatch, a Cambridge-educated cryptologist who, with a team of mathematicians, including the pioneering Joan Clark, one of the very few women on the project, sets out to crack Enigma and secret. But Turing holds a secret of his own. He is gay, and he may be attacked by his peers in the government for that fact. Without question, Cumberbatch is up to the task of bringing to life a complicated, brilliant man. Turing is multi-dimensional, his emotional depths layered. He is by far the best part of this enjoyable, if not film. As entertainment, The Imitation Game has loads to recommend it. It's paced well, features strong performance from the ensemble, and does a fine enough job of explaining the ideas behind cryptology. But history buffs will know that it's a condensation and that the filmmakers have been liberal with their shortcuts. Bletchley Park, where the Enigma code was broken, had dozens of code breakers toiling on the project, not the handful shown here. Turing's achievement can't be boiled down to one cinematic moment as they are here. It would have been better if the movie had attempted to show the project's elaborateness, rather than simplifying it for the screen, and his hidden homosexuality is given a rather superficial study. Its impact on his life hurry in the final act, still Cumberbatch deserves all the praise that he'll no doubt reap. He is fantastic. Okay, number one underrated movie is Inside Out. The background of the story is when the baby Riley is born to her loving parents, so is her first emotion, joy, who's soon joined by sadness, anger, fear, and disgust in Inside Out. The quintet live and work in headquarters, aka the HQ, the part of Riley's brain that experiences feelings and makes memories. With Joy as a leader, the group helps their girl through the toddlerhood and childhood, where everything changes when 11-year-old Riley and her parents move from Minnesota to San Francisco after her dad gets a new job. As Riley tries to cope with a new house, a new school, and her parents' increased stress, things get out of control back at HQ. Sadness and joy tussle over Riley's core memories and end up getting sucked into long-term storage. Inside of it, creative, clever, heartfelt, and beautifully animated, it's just time to join the ranks of Pixar's best movies, the ones that have dazzled us with something we've truly never seen before. Not only is it Inside Out an engaging and endlessly inventive adventure with strong themes of friendship and acceptance, but it has real potential to help kids and parents navigate the powerful emotions that come with growing up. Kids who might not be able to put their increasingly complex feelings into words could use Riley's experiences for context. And parents will be reminded that asking kids to put on a happy face when you don't really feel it can lead to unintended pressure and worry. All of that isn't meant to suggest that Inside is overly serious or a downer. Absolutely not. It's filled with moments of hilarity and unbridled imagination, as well as warm nostalgia for childhood innocence and inventiveness. His emotions are all perfectly cast. Joy's relentless optimism and can-do spirit make her a kindred spirit to Paula's beloved Leslie Knope on Parks and Recreation, and Smith, who played Phyllis in the US version of The Office, is a good counterpoint as sadness. Inside Out is just as much about Joy's journey as it is Riley's. It isn't until Joy truly understands that the other emotions have important roles to play too, that she becomes the leader that all of them, Riley included, really need. As Joy learns, happiness is all the more meaningful when you also experience defeat, loss, or loneliness. That truth is a large part of what makes Pixar's best movies so powerful. Okay, so all of these are based on my personal experience with movies. Maybe all of you have different ideas about what is underrated and overrated. Everyone have their personal favorite, and this is mine. So, background story of mine is my family and I are actually a movie watcher, and watching a movie is like having leisure time with them. And every time I watch movie here in UKM, I always remember and eventually miss them. There was time we accidentally late to go for our movie at the cinema, and I'm the one who led my family to go to which room we need to go. I didn't see actually the number on the ticket clearly, and we just like enter the room, and actually there's already people sat on our seats, but we don't want to fight. We just keep calm and sit at other empty chairs. When we started to watch the movie, it was like a Chinese movie instead of a Karate Kid movie. We were like speechless, and I rushly read our tickets back, and I was shocked because I actually read the number of our seat number instead of the room number. So I told my family and we ran to the actual room, and we like skip the early 15 minutes of the film. And till now, I actually didn't know what happened at the starting of the Karate Kid film. And my advice to all of you is please read your movie tickets correctly so that you don't waste your 15 minutes of time or 15 minutes of money. So, other than that, my experience, I would like to share about my favorite movies. My favorite movie is actually Shrek. It's DreamWorks Pictures, wonderful, whimsical. It's proved to be the latest family film to live up to its billing with its blend of high adventure, light romance, and any double layered dialogue. Shrek is capable of entrailing both. This movie is so good that adults like me and accompanied by offspring can venture into an theater without having to dress up in a disguise. Shrek is not a guilty pleasure for sophisticated moviegoers. It is purely and simply a pleasure. When it comes to computer-generated motion pictures, Shrek has once more raised the bar, and this one was already at an impressively high level in the wake of Toy Story 2 and Dinosaur. Yet Shrek outshines them both, boasting the most impressive detail and most amazingly rendered creatures of any motion pictures in its class. And although the human beings still don't look entirely realistic, they're getting close. In fact, this is the first major computer animated film in which human beings have had a significant role. And their appearance is such that we have no more trouble accepting them than we do in traditional animated fare. Shrek is essentially Beauty and the Beast with a few clever twists. In a quirky, irreverent way that views fairy tales and their conventions, it's not unlike The Princess Bride. Fans of those two stories will find much to like here. And both kids and adults can play a game of guess how many famous faces we can see. There are certainly a large number of cameos. Pinocchio, Snow White, Seven Dwarfs, Cinderella, the Big Bad Wolf, the Three Little Pigs, the Gingerbread Man, the Three Blind Mice, the Mirror, and many others. Many of Shrek's funniest lines will go over younger viewers' heads, but there are still plenty that won't. The screenplay was obviously written with all age groups in mind. Shrek is not on such a lofty plane that children will feel as if they are missing something, but it isn't lobotomized in a way that will insult the intelligence of older viewers. So, as impressive as the visuals are, and they are very impressive, Shrek wouldn't be the movie it is without a quartet of effective vocal performances. As this kind of animation becomes more prevalent, the importance of choosing the right voices will need equal care and attention. Voices help to define the characters, and a bad choice can do irreparable damage. Just as not all silent stars were suitable for talkie roles, so not all live action actors can do vocal performances. Fortunately, Shrek has four capable actors. First and foremost is Mike Myers, who is known as a vocal chameleon. Without seeing his name in the opening credits, you never know it was him. John Lithgow plays Farquaad as nasty and short-sighted, but not really evil, which makes a pleasant change from the usual animated villain. Eddie Murphy shows that a real comic genius can get laughs without relying on his own facial expressions and body language. Murphy's donkey is one of the funniest characters he has brought to the screen. Finally, Cameron Diaz's princess is equal parts sugar and vinegar. She believes in true love and Prince Charming, but like her child's angel's alter ego, she is not afraid to do a little Matrix style butt kicking. And Princess Fiona is sweet and tender, while the exchanges between the ogre and the S are often barbed and subversively funny. Like the Princess Bride, Shrek breaks with convention, but not so far that viewers will be put off by it. And while there is a happy ending, it is not necessarily the conclusion that many people will be expecting. First-time co-directors Andrew Adamson and Vicky Jensen um, have crafted a movie to be proud of, and one that will hopefully receive a lot of attention even during the crowded summer season. Shrek is easily one of the most magic experiences and my the best favorite movie. And actually, that's it from me. Now I'll pass the mic to my sister, Afika.
Hi everyone, my name is Afika and I am one of the hosts for this podcast channel. I hope you guys will enjoy the things I'm about to share, and I'm going to start by answering one of the questions submitted by our listeners through the Google Forms that we have distributed. And the question asks, where do people get inspiration to create their own movies? Interesting. I'm not a movie creator myself, so I've done a few research for me to be able to answer this question. And apparently, there's a lot of ways on how people can get the inspiration from. First of all, it can be based on real life events such as love stories to even stories about serial killers. For example, there's this Netflix movie called Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil and Vile, starring Zac Efron, who plays the infamous and notorious serial killer Ted Bundy. Personally, I enjoyed that movie and a lot of people enjoy that movie too. So these movie creators, they can take anything that has happened in real life, anything interesting, and make it into a movie so that a lot of people can enjoy watching it together on the big screen. Secondly, inspiration can also come from their personal life experience. I think we all know that some people they use art as a form to express themselves, such as dancing, writing songs, writing stories, or even drawing. And in my opinion, I think making a movie is also a form of art. So these movie creators They can take anything interesting that has happened in their life before, tweak it a little bit here and there to make it even more interesting, and make it into a movie so that they can share it with us, the viewers. Other than that, our imagination is also a form of inspiration. Our imagination is limitless. If we only limit our imagination to the things that can happen in the reality, to the things that we think only possible happening in real life, then I don't think we will ever have the chance to witness the great universe of Harry Potter, Star Wars, Maze Runner, and many more science fiction and fantasy alternate universe that we see today. At the same time, inspiration can actually come from anywhere else, honestly. Whenever we talk about getting inspiration, I don't think this concept and this question only applies to movie creators, but also to artists, authors, songwriters, choreographers, and many more. Personally, for me, I am not a movie creator, but I occasionally write sometimes and edit videos. Usually, for me, I get inspiration from simple things such as a tweet from Twitter or from the songs that I've been listening to. Whenever I get this inspiration, I have this sudden urge of feeling to make it into a content such as stories and edits. So whenever I make this content, I want to share it with everyone else and see their reaction. It's fun seeing people's reaction to the things that you created. It's such a great feeling, honestly. So you might be surprised on how people got their inspiration sometimes, because you might not even expect that they get their inspiration in such way. So I hope this answers the question. Moving on to the next thing I'm going to talk about, it's about comfort characters. According to the Google Forms that we have distributed, apparently not a lot of people actually know what's a comfort character. So I'm going to talk about it in this episode. As the name suggests, comfort character is a fictional character that you find comfort in. This is mainly because you identify yourself with the characters, you see yourself in the character, and that brings a lot of comfort to you. You also wish that you can hang out with them in real life because of how much peace and comfort they make you feel, and it's kind of sad that they do not exist in real life. Based on my observations, my friends who have comfort characters, they say that their comfort characters literally have helped them through rough and dark times in their life. Uh, their comfort characters even help them get through their panic attacks. Whenever they think about their comfort characters, it just brings them a lot of comfort. So that's how impactful these comfort characters can be in someone's life. Personally, for me, my comfort character is Spencer Reid from Criminal Minds. It is not a secret. I talk about him 24/7 because of how happy he makes me feel. Some people might think that I'm obsessed, but I could not care less because he makes me happy and I'm going to do whatever that makes me feel happy. Whenever I have a rough day, I can just go to YouTube and watch a clip of him, and that makes me feel instantly better. I can't really explain why, but just watching him makes me feel happy, and that also applies to everyone who has comfort character. These comfort characters are so powerful and impactful. This hyperfixation that we have with fictional characters is understandable, and people who do not feel the same way should not make fun of us or find it weird, because these fictional characters literally help us with our mental health and bring us a sense of comfort that no people in real life could, mainly because we have trust issues with people in real life, And these characters, these comfort characters, they are literally fictional. So there's nothing that they can do to break that trust, which makes it easier for us to find comfort in. If you don't have a comfort character, I suggest you go watch any movies or TV shows and find yourself a comfort character, because let me tell you, it's honestly a great feeling to have a comfort character. I can't explain it in words on how much my comfort characters have made me happy. So here are some of the comfort characters that our listeners listed. Katniss Everdeen from Hunger Games, Dominic Toretto from Fast and Furious, Four from Divergent, Scarlet Witch from Marvel Cinematic Universe or MCU, and Cinderella. So these comfort characters can literally be any fictional characters. Even Nemo from Finding Nemo can be your comfort characters. I recommend having a comfort character. 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Really great experience. So yeah, please find yourself a comfort character. Maybe it can help with your mental health. But of course, when it comes to mental health, please do not only rely on fictional character. Go get professional help to make you feel better. And before I end my part, I will talk about movies that our listeners want us to talk about. And I've chosen to talk about Marvel movies because I am also a big fan of the franchise itself. I cried when Tony Stark died. Tony Stark is one of my comfort characters. I have a lot of comfort characters, and that's normal. When he died, it is very heart wrenching and heartbreaking. I don't think I have accepted the reality that he is gone from the universe, from Marvel Cinematic Universe. So, for me, what makes the franchise, Marvel Cinematic Universe or MCU, enjoyable and have so many fans is due to the fact that most of the main characters, they have their own movies and plot. So we already feel connected to them. In Endgame and Infinity War, we did not see Spider-Man or Doctor Strange or Black Panther for the first time. We have seen them before in their own movies. And what interesting about the movies released before Infinity War and Endgame is that Marvel, they have this one strategy that they use, which is they put Easter eggs in their current releases as hints about their future project. So this is what they do with the movies that are released before Infinity War and Endgame. They put these Easter eggs, and fans will become so obsessed and invested in the Easter eggs that they will use it to make possible theories on what uh, the future project that Marvel would do. Literally, almost everyone I know was anticipating it, and they really enjoy the Easter eggs and the possible theories that fans have come up. Now that Thanos is gone, I am interested to see the new villain we'll have, and I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way. So yeah, that's my opinion on Marvel Cinematic Universe. It is such a great universe, makes a lot of people feel happy. So that's all for me. I hope you guys enjoy my sharing as much as I enjoy talking about it. I wish I can talk more about Marvel Cinematic Universe and cover characters, but due to time constraint, I really can't. So I hope we can see in the next episode. And the next part will be handled by my friend Nabila. That's all for me. Bye.
Okay. Someone asked me in the Google form on what would be the most demanded movie genre of all times. And I was like, yeah, bro, I never kind of wondered about that because I've watched over like various movie genres. So the most demanded or the most popular movie genre didn't matter to me at all until this question came along. It made me think hard, and after giving some thoughts on it, I would say that it actually depends on the movie itself. If you like a movie, then you would probably love the genre at the moment. But let's be real, we watch like tons of movies in a week, or for some people in a day, and we just don't stick to one genre, right? So, being the curious me, I kind of did some research regarding the question, and voila, the most demanded movie genre of all times would be drum roll. Congratulations to adventure. All right, please ignore that. I'm just being dramatic. All right, so either we realize it or not, actually, most of adventure movies are constantly rated as box offices. We may know that certain movies are box offices or are top grossing films worldwide, but we never knew that they were adventure in genre because we are too consumed on one specific genre from a movie. For instance, we have movies like The Avengers, Jurassic World, Fantastic Beasts, Jumanji, Maleficent, and many more. PS, they are all my favorite movies actually, so that's why I'm mentioning them based on my research. But there's actually a whole lot more. Okay, so don't worry. Then like 1 minute after my discovery, I was like legit questioning myself. Are they like all for real in the same genre? Because I would always come to the movies for different reasons, I would say. I watched the Avengers for their actions, Fantastic Beasts for the fantasy, Jumanji for the comedy, and Maleficent for Angelina Jolie. Okay, no, I'm just kidding. I love Maleficent, and I love Maleficent's, all of Maleficent movies because they highlight a lot on family values. Basically, they all have their own sequels, and I've watched them all, like the Avengers, for example, from the first movie to the end game. And believe me or not, I've even watched their movie branches like Iron Man, Captain Marvel, Black Panther, and a lot more. Oh my god. I just suddenly realized on how much I've been spending my time on movies like my whole life. Okay, so I would say that I've even watched the first Jumanji movie though. It was released in 1995. I wasn't even born yet in 1995. Alright, so after digesting and analyzing the results from my research, they all really are from the same boat, which is the adventure boat. Adventures are their real deal aside from added comedy elements with some sprinkle of actions and a tinge of romance. All those elements together shape them as a remarkable adventure movie. Likewise, that is how life works, isn't it? Okay, suddenly like life talk. Alright, I just want to highlight on things a bit. So yeah, every single human on earth would feel every bit of emotions in life, just like how movie characters felt in the movies through the adventure. As a matter of fact, movies are made or inspired from real life incidents. There are joyful days, there would be bad days, and there would be days when you're anxious of things, or even days when you're madly in love. That's just how life works, right? It's an adventure, and there are more life adventures that await you in the future. You're gonna experience heartbreak, happiness, and a whole lot more. Those are moments that will shape life into a beautiful nature. Can you imagine life without those element mixture? So, I'm gonna give you an example. A best friend of mine said, like, just imagine if everyone have $10 million each one day, like if that happens one day, will you think that the world now is as how it's gonna be today? Do you think there's gonna be people working when they are rich themselves? Do you think that there are food to be sold at markets or phones to be sold at stores? I guess it would be a big no. So, in order to live a complete life, every soul needs to experience bits and pieces of life. That's just how life is. Everyone's not gonna be happy 24/7. There are bad days, just like in the movies. Though the movie portrayed the heroes or heroines fighting against monsters, for example, just don't take the action part into mind. Just don't take like the action part only into mind, okay? So it's how the character deals with their problems that matters the most. Like how good is it to be applied in real life? For example, when you're dealing with unfavorable colleagues at work. How do you react to it? There are things that we should take into account. There are things that we should take into account. Yeah, basically. We could advantage a lot from watching movies as long as we learn or take something good from the movie and follow it. Okay. After a while, I was like, yeah, no wonder adventure became the most popular or the most demanded genre of all times. They are close at the heart of human being. Alright, so enough of life talks, I guess. I'm sorry that I always go in depth when talking about things. They always start with light talks and ended up being a motivational life talk. Okay, but before that, I would love to give credits to other movie genres that have been diligently cheering us all up. Like I've mentioned, some of them are elements of the adventure movies, such as comedies, romance, horror, thriller, and many more. If I were being asked to choose between those elements, I would go for comedy movies specifically. My best favorite comedy movie of all times would be Legally Blonde. No doubt about that. The movie was a big hit and it gave me a good laughing throughout the movie. It was inspiring and I learned new life lessons that would be beneficial for future use. So basically, if you ever feel like doubting yourself on or you feel bad about yourself, especially girls. Okay, no, I'm not trying to be a feminist here, but the main character was played by Reese Witherspoon, and she's a lady herself. So I highly recommend you to go ahead and watch this movie. Okay, guys can also watch because it's an inspiring movie. So it also has a sequel, but it wasn't as good as the first one. So trust me and have a watch on this movie. It has all the wow factors that is in your mind. I'm not gonna spill it to you guys, and for those who have watched and love it, we could totally be besties. When people are asking on why do I choose comedy, I would say that there's no specific reason exactly. But honestly, watching comedy movies are great for our hearts, especially when you have a good love from them. Comedy movies have a knack in helping us to cope with stress as well. In fact, according to some scientists, laughing has been proven its ability to boost our immune system and decrease the hormones associated with stress. Moreover, researchers found that laughing at a film causes our blood vessels to dilate by 22%, which lowers our blood pressure. So, no worries on blood pressure, just go ahead and enjoy comedy movies. It is real. But if you really have a pretty high blood pressure, don't wait for laughing on movies. Just take your meds, alright? Okay, before I ramble too much, it's better for us to head to my favorite part, which is favorite movies. Okay? So, based on the responses, some of them said that their favorite movie is Crazy Rich Asians. I mean, who doesn't love Crazy Rich Asians, right? It's one of my favorite movies too. For those who don't know, Crazy Rich Asians is a novel based movie. The romantic comedy novel was written by Kevin Kwan. I've read the novel beforehand, and even the sequels in one go. That's just like how crazily addicted I was to the storyline. The movie is just as good as the novel. Even better, I would say. No doubt that in October 2018, it became the highest grossing romantic comedy of the last 10 years and the sixth highest grossing ever. It got a line of brilliant cast as well. There are so many excellent actors in it, like Michelle Yeoh, Gemma Chan, or Gemma Chan. Is it Gemma or Gemma? Gemma Chan, and of course, there is the hottie Henry Golding as the lead actor. He's super dang hot, and he portrayed the character Nick Young excellently in the movie. My heart skips a bit for him. But oops, sorry, girls. He's married, okay? Okay, guys. Other than that, if you're familiar with the comedy show Fresh Off the Boat, then you would probably be chanting that the lead actress Constance Wu is no joke for real. She's elegant and charming. She's just like the right fit for Rachel Wu in the movie. Okay, like before I'm tethering too much over the production infos, it's better for me to get straight to the movie itself. Alright, so like for one hopeless romantic like me, I would say that it's a pretty good romantic comedy movie. Just like what I've imagined in the novel. For those who haven't yet, and to Arisha, who said that she's not yet hooked to this movie, I'm just gonna spill a bit for you guys about the movie. So basically, the movie is what its title holds. Crazy Rich Asians. The character Nick Young, as I've mentioned before, played by Henry Golding, happens to be Singapore's most eligible bachelor, but lives a different life in America with his girlfriend, Rachel Chu, played by Constance Wu. They both work as professors in America and live a humble but happy life there. The thing is that Rachel didn't knew much about Nick's family background, but she envisions a humble family that she could grow fond of. Little did she knew that the decent man he's together with has such a hectic life back in Singapore. His childhood home looks like a palace, and he grew up riding in more private planes than cars. It was until Nick's best friend's wedding that everything came to a revelation. They both went back to Singapore together for the wedding, and unfortunately, Nick didn't prepare her girlfriend for family intros. While Rachel was in the process in getting to know her boyfriend's family, a lot of incidents happened. She ran into an obstacle course of old money, nosy relatives, and scheming social climbers. Her mother-in-law to be Eleanor Young was concerned about the difference in their family status. The she I meant was Rachel Chu, that she was raised by a single mother, which is always being looked down in Asia. It's totally a problem. And I don't know why exactly. So Eleanor was worried that Nick's grandmother wouldn't accept Rachel. So she recounts the sacrifices she made to become a part of the Young family, and makes jabs at Rachel for her American background. She tells Rachel that she will never be enough for Nick or his family. Since after that goes a long way in Rachel trying to gain the family's trust and give up at some point. There are parts where Rachel got bullied by scheming social clouds during a bachelorette party with the mentality on why the heck did Nick Young chose her over them thick rich hotties when she has nothing much to brag about. And there are other parts showing how Rachel wanted to quit a relationship due to pressure, and the part of her where she wanted him to stay with his mother, and how Nick Young was utterly frustrated and gloomy because of their sudden breakup. He constantly tried to reach for Rachel and even convince his mother. He persuade he persuaded his mother like a lot. So after some ups and downs of talking and Eleanor Young meeting Rachel Wu for the last time, Nick Young finally proposes to Rachel with Eleanor's ring as a sign of her blessings. And the ending of the movie was that Rachel accepted the proposal, and yeah, I could say that the ending of the movie was pretty good and better compared to the novel, since the novel left me hanging and made me want more content. So yeah, there are some highlights. Um, there are some highlights I could share with you guys, but if you want to know more about it, you guys could really just go and watch it. It's totally worth it. It gives out good vibes overall. It has romance, comedy, family bonding, and even some good fashion styles. The exclusivity vibes are just awesome, and it's not cliche. So you guys must watch this if you haven't yet. But if you have, go on repeat until you vomit. Okay? So like the last but not least would be my personal experience regarding movies. It has been exhilarating and fun. There was one time when I went to the movies with a bunch of friends, and one of them literally brought like a bulky school bag. And I asked why did he brought it, and his answer was hilarious. At least it's hilarious at that point of time. He literally sneaked in a blanket into the cinema that was in the back, like the blanket that was in the back, because he said it's gonna be so cool. And I said that, bro, chill, okay, chill a bit. It's not gonna be as cool as you would think. And lastly, do you know where the blanket ended up? It ended up with me, because I'm just gonna admit it that it was utterly cool at that time, that day. No joke. I've never felt so cool in the cinema my whole life, but that moment just hit me hard. My friends laugh at me because I teased the blanket owner like a lot in the first place, like a lot in the first place, and the blanket ended up being my savior. Okay, so there's also another time that I'm gonna share with you guys, that my another time in my life, so that when I was in boarding school, they used to have Jumu'ah prayers during Maghrib and Isha, and straight to preparation classes after that. Everyone is obliged to follow the rules. Being the mischievous me, I skipped them and stayed in my hostel room like at least twice or thrice a week. But I still pray in the room, okay? But guys, please don't skip your Jumu'ah prayers. Alright, so alright. Continuing, me and my friends would always watch movies during the hour, and there's always gonna be spot checks by wardens and prefects. I guess I was a prefect as well back then. Oh my god, how naughty I was. It was crazy. The spot checks were intense. There are times that they would check under the bed and many other popular spots in the room. So when those spot checks are being done right, my friends and I would always find spots to hide while watching the movies. We always constantly like watching horror movies. Though it's so dark in the room, we would be in lockers or under the bed or behind the locker doors. Cause yeah, we were so immature back then. Fortunately, we repetitively didn't get caught because we're so good at it. We are like pros. But honestly, it was a good experience whenever I think about it back. But do remember that it's bad to violate school rules, especially when it involves religious practices. The things I've shared was just like personal experience. Okay, I've encountered in life. So guys, do be better in life and take good examples from others. Idealize only the good stuffs and take the bad stuffs into mind as a lesson so that you won't repeat it in the future. All right, so that's it, I guess, from me. Okay.
Hey guys, Shahira here. Let's move to the next question that we is or drama. Which one is better? This is indeed a very interesting question to discuss. So thank you for the one who asking. Let us start with some definition first, just in case anyone confuses the two. No, not really definition, but let us take a look at the differences between TV series and movies. The biggest general difference is the duration of the show. The duration of a movie is usually between 90 minutes and more than 2 hours. Meanwhile, the drama, a series per episode averages only about 1 hour. The quality. The quality of the stories in movies is usually better than drama or series. Other than that, drama actors are usually artists who are not very popular, even though they are also those who dare to install top artists. While movies often choose actors who are already seasoned in order to boost their scene. TV series or drama is formatted to last a while and tell a story over an extended period of time. On the other hand, a movie is supposed to tell a story in around 2 hours. So for every show, there will be a plot and a hero journey to be developed. For example, let us take a crime story. In a crime show, be it a series or a drama, there are a murder per episode. The main character always solve it. They face some struggle, but always get it done in the end. We also get a peek at their life and relationship, so we come back for more. Maybe they introduce some big baddie to make drama for the characters and give small pieces of it to build up for a season finale that drags fun back after the break. If it were a movie,
bigger villain, a more complex character, with way more depth who really puts the hero to a test. Then the hero needs to go through some big journey, face their fear, grow as a person, have great difficulties, and face the villain in an epic battle or confrontation. I think that is enough for the differences. So, movies or drama? In your opinion, which one is better? For me, it depends. Please don't hit me. I am under the impression that almost all of my answers start with it depends, but what do you expect with such a vague question? TV series are not better in every aspect than movies. The opposite isn't true either. However, TV series are better in some aspect, in my opinion. The length of a TV series allows the creation and development of character with a depth that will never be possible in a movie. Movie lasts 2 hours maybe, then where do the characters go? I watch a TV show for someone else to tell me a story and for me to go along on the ride. They are deeply personal to me. So when a show ends or is cancelled or when a character dies, I care. It means something to me. The show and its character become a part of my daily life and reality. They are real to me because I spend so much time with them. When I finish a series, I feel sad that I have to leave those characters, some of which are almost like my friends. In fact, sometimes I delete watching the last or the second last episode of the series because I don't want it to end just yet. Please tell me I am not the only one. Additionally, I like the ability to have longer, more in-depth plot lines, one that lasts a few episodes, a season, or even longer. I like watching show where it pushes you to think and re-examine your own life and thought based on what is happening in the show. That can hard to come by in a movie or a series of movies. For the storyline, there are advantages too. The length of a TV shows allow a better development of alternative storyline and scenaristic detour, both of which enable the creation of a more profound and complete universe. Moreover, the splitted nature of TV show created natural chapter when we which when usual make the show more enjoyable by creating artificial suspense and rhythm. But there is something that will always be easier to find in movies. The amount of thinking and the work on the writing is higher in a movie, allowing the creation of beautiful concepts that will not be viable in TV shows. Besides, regardless of how much time was some are just not viable in a series format. I mean, can you imagine a TV show that people enjoy for the same kind of reason that people enjoy The Usual Suspect or The Ocean 11? Movies create some of the most intense scenes, and the director has a lot to do. We can truly see the power of the director through a movie. But if a movie becomes successful, film studio makes sequel with deteriorating storyline just to make more money. On the other hand, by looking at the audience reaction, TV show creators raise the bar of creativity to match the expectation and competition across other channels. Movies have a fixed genre or a combination of 2 to 3 genres. So if you like a particular genre and watch a movie from your less preferred genre, chances are you will not like it. But TV shows, given the amount of time and character background they have, can change this view. All in all, I love TV series much more than movies because of the length. I love the fact that the story is not over in 90 minutes, it goes on, and I get to know the characters of the show much better. I follow their everyday life and join them in their ups and downs. I mean, we cry together, we laugh together, we sing and dance together, we fight together, and we enjoy our life together. TV series or drama get you attached because you're tuning in each week. You begin to form an almost personal bond with the characters. You get attached to the plot and you get to see the character progress and transform as the series continues. Movies provide too, but they have to pack everything into an hour or two, while TV shows get to take their time with it. Even so, a movie maybe tell you the story in a short time, but for some of it, you will remember for your whole life, right? So the answer is it depends. It all comes down to what you prefer and what you're looking for. Personally, I'm a TV shows kind of guy, but it does not mean that I do not enjoy a good movie from time to time. And I certainly cannot say that TV shows are better. I will go with TV series or drama on this one because I just like going with the characters. Okay, next we receive this question that is do you guys have any interesting story that happened when you guys were watching movies? So, interesting story that happened when I was watching movies. There is one time where I went to cinema with my friends and we were watching horror movies. Then one of my friends was so scared that he actually shouted and yelled. I will not say few times because it is quite a lot. Some of the audience in the theater also keep looking backward at us because he shouted so loud. There is also a part during the climax of the movie that my friend actually sat on the floor because he cannot stand the movie anymore. This is such an amazing experience, and we still talk about it whenever we see him. And not to forget, he is the one who chose the movie and asked us to join him. I mean, the audacity. Talking about interesting story, I remember the first time I watched Three Idiots. It is on TV3 channel. My sister forced me to watch it along with my father and convinced us that it is good. So I watched the movie and it turns out to be so great and I'm impressed. So I rewatched it again and then I found it so funny, so inspirational. So I watched it again and again. I am not exaggerating, but seriously, I have watched Three Idiots more than 100 times. I watch it almost every day back then, and until now, I watch it at least once a month. I don't know why, I guess you can see that I'm obsessed with it. And yes, I do remember every line, every song lyrics, and I can understand the movie without the subtitles. And in fact, I can remember the subtitle as well. I have the song like All Is Well, Jani Nahi Denge Tujhe, and other song in my MP3. I am so attached to it. During this lockdown, there is also a video that going around that shows the actors now. And I am so sad that they are old already and it makes me want to cry. I guess I just love the movie so much. So that brings us to the next part. When I was scrolling the responses we received from the Google form, I came across the movie Three Idiots at the second question, where we asked our audience to drop their favorite movies. And I was so excited. I was on cloud nine. So I did some research and Three Idiots is the only Indian film to feature and top in the list of most watched movies among other masterpieces like The Dark Knight, Avengers Infinity War, Inception, Marriage History, The Platform, To All the Boys I Loved Before, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and Train to Busan. Even after a decade, Three Idiots is the movie which one can watch anytime for its good humor and storyline. The movie expressed a lot of appreciation, also gave out strong message to the viewers regarding the current world. So let us go through some reason on why Three Idiots have such a great impact to the audience. Firstly, All Is Well. The character in this movie, my favorite Rancho Das Shamal Das Chanchen, taught us well that encouraging ourselves amidst being in fear is a good choice. However, it does not mean that everything will be fine as soon as possible. Rancho called it a trick to a mind. He said human tends to get scared very easily. So you need to trick your mind. No matter what the problem, always tell yourself that all is well. As he stated that through it, we get the courage to face the problem. All is well. It might be only written in 3 words, but the inspiration it holds is great. Nice real meaning of education. Throughout the movie, Rancho taught us that education is not supposed to create machine who memorize lesson without understanding it. He said it is important that one must understand the meaning as well. What is the point of blindly cramming a bookish definition? Aside from that, this film also tackles mental health awareness. Many students are so pressured to the point that they do not enjoy the process at all. There are those who simply follow what they are told to do. So when they fail, they really get in so much pain. Just imagine how great would it be if the students can enjoy what they are doing, when they can feel the excitement and fun while working on the things they are supposed to finish. Without the pressure. The third point is encouragement to follow your heart. Rancho is a type of man who always tries to encourage others. It flatters my heart to hear him say to his friend to follow their heart and follow their talent. He even said that if there is a fear for the future, how would a person enjoy the present? There are people who badly want to take another program in college, but they could not. There are also those individuals who want another profession, but it remains untold. Rancho taught us to pursue what our hearts want and what our skill is for. Through this, even if the process will be tough, we can still find joy in the middle. So talk about it with your parents if you can try to show perseverance. Still, be respectful while telling them about your true feelings. So, remember what Farhan Komlin inspired with, that it may give him a small amount of money, but it will make him genuinely happy while he helps them. The movie also teaches us to be kind to everyone, no matter how close we are to someone, or no matter how much we know in certain field, we will never know about someone's struggle. So be kind. Being kind, sympathetic, and understanding are three things we should not forget in life. Things and money can be replaced. However, a life cannot be replaced by anything. Definition of true success. Follow excellence and success will chase you, by Rancho said. It may not have been said in word in the movie, but it taught us that chasing success is not how our life is supposed to be. Instead, we need to follow excellence, do what makes us happy, and never waste opportunity to apply what we learn in life. Then, success will simply follow us. So live a life that is worthy, enjoy, has a purpose or meaning. Success is not about what you visibly hold on your head. Great plot twist. The plot twists of Three Idiots are what you should also anticipate for, especially the last one. As viewers, I really think that helps in delivering the message and lesson to viewers. At the end, it will surely help you reflect in life. What is life for? Why am I doing this and that? Is there a purpose lying on my action? And so on. Moreover, all the main leads, including the supporting actor and actress, are really talented and good in acting. Their acting skills are so effective to the point that they can make a viewer laugh, cry, feel motivated, reflect and laugh, and making sure that the life lesson of this film reach the audience heart. So see it for yourself, and I hope you will enjoy and love it too. I highly recommend watching Three Idiots. It is available on Netflix and other side as well, so why not give it a try? The admiring friendship of the lead character, the understanding of each other, members' feeling and decision, the dedication in studying and others, this will surely hook your heart up. So that is the end of this episode. We hope you get something from this episode and enjoy it. Don't forget to tune in for our next episode. Thank you so much and have a great day. Bye.